So, the First World War portal is a multi-archive collection featuring content from 20 archives and libraries from across the globe and focusing on 3 distinct areas of the conflict on all fronts, including the UK home front. These areas are personal experiences, propaganda recruitment, and visual perspectives and narratives. You can access the introductions to all 3 of these areas directly through the icons on the First World War homepage down here. So I'm just going to click into one now to show you what I mean. There we go. So First World War provides access to thousands of unique original diaries, letters, photographs, posters, maps, printed books, cartoons, trench newspapers, 360-degree objects, oral histories and films on a diverse number of subjects within these 3 themes. So you can research individual experiences, including in manuscript trench diaries from soldier stations on the front, propaganda and the mechanisms behind this, army censorship, anti-war protests, morale at home and on the front lines, international perspectives, the home front, the role of women, trench literature, and many other subjects. So I'm going to start by giving you an overview of how the site works. So this icon up here in the corner shows a site map at a glance, and it also allows you to change the contrast and the text size to your preferred options. So we're just going to go into the introduction to start with. So the introduction tab gives you all the background information on the collection, and it's a great place to start finding out what's included and how to use the site. So the nature and scope is divided into 3 areas and provides an overview of the main themes and what has been included from each participating library. So here we have personal experiences, propaganda recruitment, and visual perspectives and narratives. So if I just go into this one, you can see the themes, the variety of documents, and the secondary sources provided. A full list of all the participating libraries is available on this page here. Within this section, you can also find a quick guide on using the site, and this is in our Take a Tour page. So this will go through how to use all the various features in a quick and handy to use guide. However, if you're looking for more in-depth information, this can be found under the Help tab at the top and in the page-by-page guide. And this goes into much more detail. Okay, the introduction also shows you details of the editorial board who collaborated on this collection. We can also see copyright information here as well, and the editor's choice, which showcases some of Adam Matthews' team's personal highlights as they've been going through the collections. So the first thing I want to show you is the Maps Gallery. First World War includes several visual galleries to aid research and teaching. So here in front of us we have the Maps Gallery, which shows maps just in isolation. So that includes aerial views and trench maps, as well as normal hand-drawn maps. So I'm just going to click on one of these maps here. And what this will show you is the full-sized item along with the metadata and its associated documents as well. Okay, so we can see the map view in front of us, which we can zoom into to have a closer look. We can also see this in full screen. Again, zooming in and zooming out as we go. And alongside here, we have all the metadata information for this map, including where the images have been taken from. So if we just click that link here, we will go directly to the document. Okay. We have a visual gallery. These are divided up by document type. So if I just click into sheet music down here, this will display all the sheet music results. And again, if I click into any one of these items, it will show me the metadata and allow us to zoom in and take a closer look. Okay, there we are. So there's the front page of this particular music sheet. We can also add our image to a lightbox. We can also download it from this page view as well. And if we just click the link from where the image is from, we'll see the full sheet music, which again we can go into via the images. Other visual resources include a 360 object gallery. So I'm just going to pick on the binoculars down here. And what this will allow me to do is to zoom all the way around the document to give a 360-degree view. Again, we've got all the metadata provided here. We can also see all the still photographs of this object as well. So of the image we were just looking at, that's the original image. So if we just click the thumbnails tab, we can see all the thumbnails and then choose the one we want. Film clips and oral audio histories are sourced from Imperial War Museums on this project, and they are highlighted in both the visual resources and the further resources. So each film clip here includes the metadata beside it and can be played in both a small version and in a large version as well. If we have a look at the oral histories, which are included on this page, again we can see the audio bar here, and in the top are all the transcripts. And as per usual, there's a full list of metadata associated with it. So going back to further resources then, you will also find in this section essays written by our editorial board. We also have case studies and our interactive chronology. So all data within the chronology can be sorted by category and by theatre of war as well, down the side. Other items to note are the Great War Glossary, very, very useful for teaching purposes. We've also got external links on this page as well, and various other helpful information. So First World War also includes several interactive features. The first one being the Sanctuary Wood Trench Experience, which looks at the trench system preserved at Sanctuary Wood Museum in Ypres and includes 360 panoramic views and dynamic walkthrough images of the tunnel system, which show shelters, the wire, any craters, and the few surviving tree stumps from 1918. So I'll just go into one of those now. Under the Maps tab, you will also find animated maps of the major fronts, battles and campaigns, including contextual information, and those can be found here. So clicking on any timeline bar will take us into an interactive map. So you can see that running in front of you. We can also jump around using the timeline at the top as well. Okay, let's have a look at some of the documents. So if we go into the main documents tab, this provides us with a full list of every document included in the First World War. And this list can be browsed using the filters at the top. So we can browse by document type. So if we were looking for diaries or journals specifically, we can apply that. And just return those search results. We can also browse by library or archive. So, for instance, Imperial War Museums. And this will return every single result from the Imperial War Museums within this project. We've also got Theatre of War, we have language, and we have module as well. So each column can be sorted alphabetically, just using these little arrows here. We also have our dynamic column at the end where you can choose what you view. So we have Library Archive, Module, Theatre of War, and Language as well. If you simply just want to browse through the list, you can always use the Next and Previous buttons at the top as well. So I'm just going to resort this by printed book. And by A to Z. And we'll just go into one and have a look. So this is the main metadata page. So we've gone into this document. And from this page, you can save the document later to My Archive. You can also search within it. You can download images, and you can download the entire range as well. There's also a very handy citation button here. So if I just do a very, very quick search. So we can see the image view here. So we have the chapters which we can flip between. Again, we can toggle the full screen and zoom in and zoom out as required. We can also see the thumbnail view. And again, from this view, we can add images to our Lightbox, or download images, or download full chapters. So diverting quickly to the search, we can search obviously within this document here, but we can also perform a search across the whole portal using the search box in the bar at the top. This can be done on any page. So we'll just search for Ypres. And this will return all the results where Ypres is mentioned. Alternatively, if you want to drill this down further, you can use the filtered results here, or you can go into the advanced search filter up the top. And the usual Boolean filters also apply in here if you want to search for something specific. The other thing in terms of searching that I just want to draw your attention to is the popular searches at the top. So these were created by our in-house team, and they are a really great place to start. So all the keywords which have many results within the collection, and the highest results, are included here. They've been translated into French, German, Italian and Spanish as well. We can also see the countries, places, names, battles and events, and theatres of war that have the most results as well from this page. So if we just click on one here. That will return our results list. Okay, so that's a tour of how the site works in itself, but what I want to show you now is a couple of highlights from the collection which showcase the experiences captured within the resource, and in some cases as we go through how those experiences have been used to sort of shape popular opinion as well. So I'm just going to perform a quick search. For Vera Brittain. So this returns all the materials sourced from the Vera Brittain archive at McMaster University Library, which include her remarkable wartime diaries and letters, and a heavily annotated first version of her celebrated autobiography, Testament of Youth, which was, of course, adapted into a film in 2014. So I'm just going to scroll down the results so you can see, and just click into the Testament of Youth's 1933 first edition. And within these pages are exceptionally moving accounts of a nurse at the front working alongside the horrors of war under hugely strenuous conditions. And it's absolutely fantastic. So again, we can click into all the results up here, into all the images, zoom in and read the annotated first version. Okay. So included in personal experiences is an extensive collection of German trench newspapers from the Bibliothek für Zeitgeschichte in Stuttgart. So this includes items such as Armeezeitung der Zwei Armee, which is included here, and which I'm showing in front of you now. So trench newspapers were obviously a very important vehicle for morale and propaganda in the trenches, and we're also obviously showcasing some of the foreign language material that's included with the collection here. So what we're looking at is the 1918 edition. Of which there were many, many issues across the year. So we can jump specifically to an issue if one is of interest. And if you're looking for a specific edition, again, we can minimize this overview and zoom in as normal. As the 12th of October marks the anniversary of the execution of Edith Cavell in 1915 by firing squad, I thought I would show one of the numerous documents in First World War which discusses this subject. So The Bravest Heart of All is a piece of sheet music published in New York which captures the general outrage surrounding her death and very cleverly turns this into Allied propaganda. So the lyrics describe her as an angel who tended to friends and foe and also as a martyr, but they also turn her into a soldier who died for her country, so not merely a nurse working on the front. So it's very powerful, and it was images and items such as these that really helped cement anti-German feeling, especially in the US. Moving on to an example of the diaries and journals included in the collection. This is one of the diaries of Second Lieutenant Gerald Brunskill. He eventually reached the rank of Major General, but when he joined the army as a volunteer in 1914, it was before he'd officially turned 18, so before his 18th birthday. And after training for a fairly long time in England, he was subsequently stationed in 1916 as an engineer and observation officer in France, Belgium, and eventually Italy. So his diaries chart his army career right from training camps through to the various fronts. They're very humorous, they're very satirical, and they provide very detailed insights into the workings of the British Army and into some of its blunders as well. So the diaries themselves are very, very detailed. They're full of photos, full of ephemera, and they are a fantastic record of the conflict experienced firsthand on the front lines. So the last item that I want to show you is one of the photograph albums. So this is Women at War in Industry and Services, sourced from Imperial War Museums. And it shows women at work in a variety of industries on the home front, including bootmaking, brewing, brickmaking, carpentry, caustic soda works, cement works. We've got chemical works and laboratories, in the coal industry, working in dentistry, dyeing, dry cleaning as firewomen, and in flour mills as well. So I'm just going to go into some of these to show you some photographs. So here we have women bootmaking. And as firewomen as well. So it's photograph albums like this that give us an absolutely fascinating insight into the work that women undertook during the war and the absolutely pivotal role that they played supporting the troops fighting at the front. Okay, so that is a very brief introduction to the First World War.